Hey, welcome to another fingerstyle guitar arrangement video. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting chords to a melody. Alright, this song that we're doing today is called There Is a Balm in Gilead. Alright, it's a spiritual and the song isn't important. What's important is the technique that you use, and you can apply this to any song that you like. Alright, so it's even better if you don't know what this song is or what it sounds like. Okay, so I've already done a melodic analysis of the song in a previous video, so you should go check that out if you want to understand how we process the melody using solfege. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to be putting chords to this melody. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the song. I'm going to sing it in solfege and I'm going to play it on the guitar. What is solfege? Well, if you don't already know, solfege is a system whereby we attach sung syllables to every scale degree. So in this case, we are in the major scale. So we're just going to sing Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do for every scale degree. And the moment we sing a note, we know immediately where in the scale it lies. If it's a Do, then we know it's a scale degree number 1. If it's a Mi, then it's scale degree number 3, for example. We are in the key of E major. This is the song. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain, but then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. And there we have it, alright? That's the piece, just the melody itself. So this is in the key of E major. I want to try arranging it with chords in the C major. What we're going to do, we're going to put the capo on number 4 and we're just going to think in key of C major, but of course it's going to be E major because we're putting it on the 4th fret, making it E major. So if I play a C chord here, this is actually sounding as E major, but we're just going to think of C major. What? How does that even work? Well, if we're playing a C major chord, but we bump it up by 4 frets, means we're moving it up by 4 semitones. So we start with C, going to C sharp, and then we're going to D, and then to D sharp, and then to E. So we're actually playing an E major chord, although it looks like a C major chord. Okay, so let's get started. The first part of the melody goes Mi, Mi, Re, Do. Hey, before we continue putting the chords to the melody, I want to share with you that I've got a series of guides that you can download completely free from my website. The links are all in the description below. For this particular lesson, the most useful one will be the chord position guide, where we've got all the various chord shapes that you can use and apply and follow along with this lesson. Alright, so let's get back to it. This tells me that it's a 1 chord. Mi, Mi, Re, Do. So we're gonna play C major chord. Okay, what do I mean by a 1 chord and how is that a C major chord? Well, if you go to the solfege harmony guide, right, you will see that I've got all the chords listed out based on the scale degree that they are built on. So in this case, we are in the C major scale. The C major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So chord number 1 will be the chord that's built up on scale degree number 1, in this case, which is a C chord. Now, is it going to be a C major or a C minor or a C diminished or whatever it is? Well, the solfege harmony guide lists all of it for you, so you know that chord number 1 in this case is a major chord. The numbers are listed in what's called Roman numerals. Now this is a tradition. Don't worry about it. You can think of it in terms of number 1, number 2, but in this case number 1 is written as a capital letter I. Number 2, for minor, we've got a 2 small letter I's over there. Alright, so I hope that's helpful. Let's get back to it. So, Do, Re, Mi. Now this Do, Re, Mi, the Re is a not important note. It's just a passing note. So the important notes are Do, Mi, Do, Re, Mi. Now this Do, Mi is also in the 1 chord. So we could stay in the 1 chord. So we've got Mi, Mi, Re, Do. So, Do, Re, Mi. But I feel that it needs a little bit of movement. So instead, I'm going to be playing the 6th chord. Mi, Mi, Re, Do. So, Do, Re, Mi. That sounds better. And the 6th chord is just a substitute for the 1 chord. It's also a tonic function chord. Sixth chord is minor, so it makes it a little bit darker and we feel like we've got movement and momentum in the song. What do I mean that the function of the chord is a tonic function chord and the sixth chord is a substitute tonic function chord? That sounds really complicated and convoluted. Well, it's not so complicated once you break it down, alright? Every chord has a function, and the functions are, you've got a tonic function chord that are kind of at rest, it feels at home, and it wants to move to a subdominant function chord, and from this subdominant function chord it has a bit more tension, wanting to move to the dominant function chord, which is the most tension, and then it wants to resolve back to your tonic function chord, which is at home. So if you can see, the 1 chord and the 6th chord are both tonic function chords, but the 6th chord is a minor chord, but it still has this at-home rest feeling, although it may not be as strong as the 1 chord. Alright, the next part of the song is Do, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re. Alright, so here's a little trick when you're harmonizing or finding out the chords for a song. You don't always have to do it linearly. Sometimes we don't know what song comes next, but we know what song comes at a certain point for sure. In this case, Fa, Mi, Re. This Re note tells me that it's going to be chord number 5. So I'm just going to put chord number 5 there. Do, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re. This is chord 5 here. But what's in between that? Well, you see, we're moving from a tonic function chord, in this case, the 6th chord, and then we're going to the 5 chord, which is a dominant function chord. And what comes in between that is going to be a subdominant function chord. And I'm going to be using chord number 2. So we've got Mi, Re, Do, So, Do, Re, Mi, Do, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re. Now the next part of the song, Mi, Re, Do. This is going to be a 1 chord again. It's almost like a repetition of the first bar. So, Do, Re, Mi. Same thing here. Do, Mi, Re, Do. Okay, now the same technique. This last Do is probably going to be a 1 chord. Do, Mi, Re, Do. Now let's work backwards, okay? Do, Mi, Re. This Re, Do right before the Do is going to be a chord number 5. That's dominant to tonic function. Do, Mi, Re, Do, or Mi, Re, Do. Why is it chord number 5 just because it has a Re note? Well, that's because the Re is a chord tone in chord number 5. It could be some other chord as well, for example chord number 7, and that's also a dominant function chord, but in this case we're just going to keep it simple with the most obvious chord, so we're just going to use chord number 5. Right, so again, with that knowledge, I'm not going to care so much about what the notes are, but I'm just going to think of the harmonic progression. I want us to go from a tonic to a subdominant, to a dominant, and then to the tonic. So, Mi, Re, Do, So, Do, Re, Mi, tonic function chord. Now to subdominant function, Do, Mi, Re, Do, Do, 2, and 5, 2, 1. And that's the chorus part. Alright, let's move on. The verse, Do, Mi, Fa, So. Here's interesting. So the first one, Do, Mi, we're just going to start with 1 chord. Do, Mi, Fa, So. Here we've got this ascending motion in the melody. We've got Mi, Fa, So. Now the technique I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to ascend in the harmony as well. So I'm going to be starting with chord number 1 for Mi, and for this Fa, I'm going to play chord number 2. Do, Mi, Fa, So, and this So, again I'm going to climb up the harmonies to chord number 3. Alright, so we've got chord 1, to chord 2, to chord 3, Do, Mi. Now we're going to drop back to 1. Do, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re. Alright, for here, using the same technique, this last Re is going to be chord number 5. So what's in between that is going to be a subdominant function chord. So in this case, I'm just going to use a 1, 4, 5 chord progression. Do, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re. And then the last line, Do, Mi. 1 chord, Mi, Fa, So. Same thing, this ascending progression. Chord 1 to chord 2 to chord 3. And then fa, mi, do, mi, re, do. Same thing as before, 4, 5, 1. Fa, mi, do, mi, re, do. And there we have it, alright? That's how I harmonize this song. So now you know the thought process. Of course, it's gonna get easier the more you do it, but the first few times it's gonna be a little bit tricky, and I want you to make as many mistakes as you can, because that's how you learn. So I'm gonna sing it and I'm gonna play the chords for you one time, and then I'll leave you to practice it on your own. And in the next lesson, in following videos, I'll show you how we're gonna combine the melody and the harmony together to create a full-fledged fingerstyle guitar arrangement. This is There Is a Balm in Gilead. Mi, mi, re, do, so, do, re, mi, do, mi, fa, mi, re, mi, re, do, so, do, re, mi, do, mi, re, do, mi, fa, fa, so, do, mi, fa, mi, re, do, mi, fa, so, fa, mi, do, mi, re, do. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. I try my best to answer all these questions because I want you to be able to understand. So that's it. Until next time, I'll see you again. Goodbye.